Okay, welcome. Someone actually said that I never show my face in the previous video, so I try to show my face and my phone number. But just for a quick one, because the important thing is here in the slide. So let's carry on. Today I'm going to talk about the private condo market, the resale one. I'm not talking about new launch. I'll talk a little bit, but not a lot. But just to give you some thoughts about what's happening on the market, what I see, and some statistics and data to show you. As always, if you like this video, do share, like, subscribe, comment to help the algorithm. Thank you so much. Doing YouTube video like all these, especially with a lot of data and charts, like what I'm going to show you is always very tiring. That's why I also have my own sales to run. I also have my own clients to handle. So doing videos like this require a lot of effort lah. So please do help the video if you can. Thank you very much. Disclaimer, always put this thing first. Previous video I forgot to put lah. So disclaimer, you read through lah. Pause and read through. Don't want to waste time. So resale condo prices and volume, right? I'm taking the past 5 years or 6 years because I want to show you how it looks like from the COVID spike until now. Okay, so you can see that my charting starts from Q3 2019. If those of you who have already been in the market from 2015 to 2020, just right before the COVID hits, you would have known that 2019 actually the market is already sluggish. That means the buying momentum is not very strong. Of course, COVID hit, then everybody know because of the supply lag, it drives up the pricing again. So the spike, we can plot Q3 2020 to Q3 2022. You can see that the average price, the increase of 18.19%, round up 19%. Q3 2022 to Q3 2024, same period of 2 years, the growth has slowed down to 10.77%, 11%. And just 2024, Q3 2024 to 2025, you can see that the up is not that high anymore. In fact, the newspaper also recently came out saying that the August resale momentum is not very strong. I will believe that it's because that a lot of the demand is being shifted away to the new projects. Okay, so later on, I think one of the slides will cover also. So you can see that generally this volume is stabilizing. You look at the past few quarters, volume is stabilizing. Price growth is also slower. So if anybody tell you that the market is still very strong, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, probably not lah. I would always like to cover this thing because we have to understand that private market is very different from HDB. Why I say HDB, if you have watched from my previous video, or you have subscribed, thank you so much from the previous video, you will know that the HDB resale market and the private resale market is very different because we are talking about a more open market, a more higher buyer pool of market without restrictions from HDB. Okay, so you buy HDB, there's no restrictions, but private market, you really have the tap or the access to the entire population. Okay, but of course, mainly the main key drivers are the new Singaporeans and PRs. Okay, so population growth is still there. However, we have to understand that Singapore is facing aging population as well as low birth rate. So to say that local born and bred Singaporean are leading the buying momentum for private property is not true. Okay, so this thing I just want to show you that population is still rising in terms of Singapore, but of course due to the transient workers, we so-called transient workers. Okay, but I want to stress upon is that new citizens did increase as well. So you can see that actually there's more people carrying the pink IC. So for the fun of it, I asked the magical help of ChatGPT to give me what to look out for if, let's say, I throw him this scenario. If you are a super smart city planner and the ruling government of Singapore facing aging population and low birth rate, what will you do to continue to make Singapore competitive and pursue sustainable economic growth? As we know, ChatGPT, they always like to give super long answers. So I say, give me top 3, short and concise. Okay. Okay, number 1, attract and retain global talent. Right. Obviously, this one, Singapore actually is already doing it. In number two, rebuild economy and boost around automation and productivity. Okay, this one overall economics, I just run through quickly. Transform housing. This part talking about housing already. Housing, healthcare, and urban planning for an older population. Okay, so all these is actually what ChatGPT given me lah. But of course, I want to poke further. I say elaborate on the population growth. How do you ensure we are attracting the right talent to become new citizens? Right. So you can see instead of the head count, they want calibrated talent immigration. That means people with this relevant skill sets of the future. Okay, select skills and values and not just skills alone. This one you read through lah. This one I not sure whether we done enough. Anyway, I'm not in politics, so you read through point number 2. Okay. Number 3, create faster and more certain pathway for high performing paths. Right. Make Singapore the best place to raise family, right, for global talent. So very interestingly, are we already doing that? Just look at some of the news how many Singapore citizens, how many high net worth individual that we attract, how many highly skilled foreign workers that we actually grant them pass, and family office being set up in Singapore for wealth inflow. Okay, all these are relevant news article that we should pay attention to. Okay. The next question to ask is, if these people comes in, right, generally, where will they stay? They will stay something like the one in the right, in the left, HDB, or in the right, some modern looking condo, right? This one you have to think through. Okay, so for the past 1 year, you can see that actually the private resale market, condo resale, the price growth is somewhat stable, and the growth is very muted lah. Okay, and if you look through the graph, if you look through the chart, right, some regions actually do perform better than the others, right? So all these are the stats and statistics and figures that you can read through yourself. And overall, it seems like the resale RCR is performing better. Okay, for the past 1 year, this is not the past 5 years. This is just past 1 year. And some of the months you can see deeper into the charts. Some months there are some average condo resale prices that actually drop. Obviously, someone will ask at this point of time, I thought these people all put like, wow, project is selling like hotcake. Penrith sell 97%, 7 grams sell 84%. Wow, seems like every project that is launched is selling very well and selling very fast. So what you tell me doesn't reflect, well, it's not true. Okay, of course, I will always like to share this thing lah. Developers is really like the David and Goliath story lah. If you know what this is, then I don't want to explain. If you're fighting against the giant who has $1 million marketing budget versus you as in if you're a condo owner selling your own condo lah, there's only typically one agent that is selling your own resale condo who has a better chance of winning, right? Now, today, there is really a lot of launches, a lot of options, and frankly speaking, the number of buyers that we can see that really has that kind of affordability, that kind of means to go in and buy into the kind of price range 2.5 mil to 5 mil kind of condos. It's not abundant. I want to use this word. It's not abundant because these people with high income, with high wealth and high liquidity, they are also more selective, right? So today, if let's say I go to the resale market, I look at all the old condo, I also don't feel shook buying something that somebody stay in before if it is not well taken care of. So unless you're telling me that the new project and the resale, the price is very far off, then yes, probably I would turn to the resale market. But later on, some slides I'll show you lah. There's some interesting facts and figures that we can draw about. And today, if let's say I already sold my place, I do not mind renting and wait for 3 to 4 years, and I can buy a cheaper or newer property. Why not? Right? So that's always some train of thought in the buyer's mind. Now, there's this thing that is being introduced. I think there's too many agents already talk about it, but I just try to put it in a very simpler form lah. Today, if let's say I want to consider to buy a 3 bedroom, don't look at just the per square foot, because if you just look at the per square foot, you will feel a bit lopsided. You will feel a bit strange at why people are willing to pay high price. Look at the overall quantum, right? So for a 3 bedroom premium, I buy 1195 per square feet. I pay 3,002. Overall, I'm paying 3.82 million. Versus I also a 3 bedroom, 1,800 square feet. I pay 2,006 per square feet. Seems like $600 per square foot cheaper, but I am paying almost 1 million more, right? And the project TOP in 2029 versus the other one project is TOP in 2010. So 15-year project now versus 4 years later, I get a brand new one. That means 19 years old versus brand new lah. Which one will you buy? If give me a choice, I will also probably choose the newer one lah, right? 19-year-old versus brand new, which one will you buy? 19-year-old because I count 4 years later lah, right? Now, look at the highlighted yellow part. In the past, you need to pay bay window, aircon latch, balcony, planter box. All these things are part of the strata title. This is a very quick scenario to show you what I am talking about. You pay, I really give a discount. I take it 200 per square foot. 200 square feet for all these highlighted yellow. I believe is bigger. Okay, so you pay extra 200 square feet for all this not so usable space. Almost 500,000, right? For bay window, accessory balcony, planter box, aircon latch. I don't know about you. I don't feel good paying all this. Okay, compared to this one, right? 3.8 million, right? If you can read the word at the ledgers, non-strata, that means the aircon latch does not count into the 1195 square feet. So if you count it inside, maybe this layout should be a 1,003 square feet kind of floor plan. Now, the next thing I want to draw about is that there seems to be a narrowing city living price appeal. Why I mention this because on the ground, I'm serving a lot of buyers the past few months. It's very interesting to know if, let's say you can pay 2.5 million for a 3 bedroom Queenstown, but you top up a little bit, the one 2.65 million, we have to bear in mind that whenever you talk about properties, you don't pay the 150,000 upfront 100%. It's all based on loan. So it's only a top up of like 50,000 thereabout at most. We're talking about 1/3 of it, right? So if I can top up 50,000 more in terms of the down payment, I can stay in River Valley compared to Queenstown. Why not? I think it's quite interesting to see this case study. Let me know if you know which project I'm talking about in the comments. It'll be very interesting to interact with you all. Also, I see the previous video, a lot of comments. So pardon me if I never reply to all of you, but keep the comments coming. I always love interacting with you guys. Next one will be, will you pay a 2.6 million for a 3 bedroom to stay in Tampines, or take a chance to stay in Marina South first project for 2.7 million? Right. Of course, some people will say like, oh, Marina, the project there don't make enough money, cannot appreciate, blah, blah, blah. But if you look at it this manner, I don't know. It seems like worth taking a shot, worth taking a try over at Marina South first project next to MRT station, right? And bear in mind that all new launches will become resale one day. So today we are at the all-time high, both HDB resale, both condo resale, both new launches. Everything is at all-time high right now. So this is something that I want to caution or highlight to most people about. If today you're buying a new project to make a quick profit flip, I think it is best to rethink your strategy and project selection. I don't want to name which project, but there is some interesting area that I feel I didn't recommend as much, or I never asked my buyer to buy because I feel that the exit don't seems very strong. Okay, for example, this area, this project, the 3 bedroom in TOP in 2021, the 3 bedroom is selling at 3.2 million. In 2025, you buy a brand new project at 3.2 million. In 2028, do you think you can sell this at 3.6 million, right? Where will be the future demand and price support coming from? This is just food for thought. In fact, the three-bedroom is about the same size. If you know which project I'm talking about, type it in the comments. All right. Pardon me, why I put all these things is because first thing first, there's a lot of property agents that's also watching my video. So sometimes I do not know they are property agents, so they may challenge me to put some things. No right, no wrong. Everybody have different agendas to sell whatever projects that they are selling. But my point of this video is to educate and have the general public to understand more. Right? So that's the reason why a lot of projects or the particular names, I never say it very explicitly lah. Okay. Now, next thing is that if you're buying the higher price in that nearby vicinity, how do you justify selling it higher in the future? Right? Do you know where the strong support is coming from in the future? Is there any potential HDB upgraders that you can sell to? Is there any other future GLS that is selling already higher than you? Or do you know there is an infrastructural improvement coming up that will drive up or boost demand? And next thing, if you're buying a 1 or 2 bedder for rental, have you checked the recent rental performance at the nearby condo in terms of volume, in terms of transacted rentals, in terms of currently how many similar rental listings is being put up? From there, you work backwards to see whether this is a worthwhile investment to buy if you are planning to hold it long-term for rental, right? Just a quick case study. Someone in the past video commented to ask me to talk about Queenstown, but too many already. As I prepare all the slides, really too many already. So generally speaking, there's one project over there. The common bedroom cannot fit queen size bed one. So that one you don't buy unless the price is very, very cheap. Okay, I cannot tell you how cheap, but there must be a significant price difference to make sense to buy that particular project with a poor layout. I use the word poor layout because the common bedroom over there cannot fit in queen bed, right? And if let's say you're buying slightly older project, right? There's a 1000 project over there also So bear in mind that you need to account for the renovation costs if you are thinking of buying it for your own stay or if you're buying it to rent it out, right? Generally speaking, I will try to avoid older projects, generally speaking, right? Last sentence, choose the better layout, choose higher floor, choose better facing whenever possible. Find value. People nowadays will focus more towards own stay element. Okay. There are actually a few projects that didn't perform very well, right? So if you know which project I'm talking about, please feel free to comment. I will help you to give some interactions in the comments, right? Some projects in the west, some project in the east, they have already collect keys, but the project performance was not very good. Okay, when I say not very good means that the owners annualized return below 3%, to me is not so good already. Because waste time, you're buying new launch, you are suffering in terms of you don't have rental income. Yes, it's progressive payment. Yes, you don't need to come up the whole down payment lump sum, but the fact of the matter is that most people, they want to buy new projects to sell during the TOP for a quick profit flip. But the thing is that there are some projects in the recent 1 year, their performance is pretty weak, right? So bear in mind that we come out from the COVID spike. Despite the COVID spike, there are still some projects that didn't perform as well. Okay. Now, where are the future buyers coming from? If you're looking at potential buyers profile, right, I can identify for you, generally, it is these few groups of people. Okay, HDB upgraders, right? This one without saying, a lot of agents has been talking about it for the longest time. affluent, right size or downgraders, people who have already make money previously, right? They hold their property for 20 years, 30 years. Definitely, these are the people that will be flush with liquidity and money, lah, right? Some of the previous project that profited, right? Some of the more successful one, like for example, Clavon, uh, Sterling Residences, Park Esta, Penrose. These are the few projects that these owners make pretty decent gains, lah, right? High income singles, dual income with no kids, professionals. These are the people that I've been noticing as well. They are coming into the market to buy properties. And not last but not least, not forgetting that the new citizens and new PR. Okay. Just to give you a quick run through of a typical profile. All these are very on the ground kind of thing. Imagine a young family, you got one child, 5 years old, you and your wife 35 years old, combined income 15,000. You bought your Bidadari BTO for 580,000. Recently, your next door neighbors sold their place for 1.18 million. Wow. What will be going through your mind, right? Definitely, you may want to think of optimizing your next move. Definitely, you may be thinking that, hey, what are the options that I can explore next? Is there a possibility that I can go to a private condo? What is my next most optimized or most ideal move that I should make? Right? Next thing, elderly couple, both of you 70 years old, you both work very hard when you're young, all your children has already shifted out from a Queenstown condo. Right? Recently, you are annoyed by your aging unit with water leakage issue and the lift start to break down. The big unit also means that the daily household is very bothersome. Your three-bedroom can be sold for 2.5 mil. It's already fully paid. Where are you thinking of buying next? So these are just some food for thought, some real case scenario that some of the clients that I'm handling, just to give you some scenario to think about. Imagine a youngish couple, not so young, youngish couple, 40 years old. Previously, you bought Park Star, 3-bedroom, 1.68 million. Recently, your neighbor sold 2.32 million, right, in 2025. Your kids already completed their primary school and they can take public transport by themselves. So same thing, what would you want to do next, right? These are some of the real world case scenario that I can give you some ideas about. The reason why I do this exercise is because we have to think like a buyer to know where will be the demand coming from. Right? After staying with parents for the longest time, I'm a young local banker who have worked and saved up for my first condo purchase. I cannot buy HDB because I'm below 35. I'm also not relying on my parents for parental support grant. I want my freedom and home ownership. Where will I want to buy next? Right? Same thing. Put yourself into the shoe of this person. Where will this person want to buy next? Right? After paying rental for the past 11 years, moving house for 3 times, talking to property agent to arrange viewing, negotiate rent, hand over dispute at the mercy of landlord, increasing rent, and unreasonable house rules. 250,000 rental paid, not counting the moving cost, and buying of furniture. I finally got good news. I received a letter from ICA saying that they have approved my PR, permanent residence. What am I thinking next? Right? Okay, where will they buy? What will they buy? Will they buy a 1-bedroom in Pasir Ris? Will they buy a 1-bedroom in Woodlands? A 3-bedroom in Serangoon? A 3-bedroom in East Coast? Just some playing around lah. Okay. I thought people like rental you. Okay, this one is talking about people who buy purely for rental. Now the issue is that if you do not know, property tax has been increasing. It's a little bit crazy, I feel, right? And government give off a one-off rebate to cushion the impact, but only one-off lah. Next year, you still need to pay higher and higher property tax. Maintenance fee also increase, right? Some owners are not very happy about this, but no choice. Everything is increasing in terms of price, right? Increases rental, replacement costs. If the rental stay the same or dip slightly, does it still make sense to hold my property for cash flow? On my channel, I did a separate video somewhere. but I'm not very good at YouTube lah. You go and find from my channel. I do a very in-depth calculation of whether or not you should hold your rental property purely for profit. Now, same thing, I pull out the past, how many years? 15? No, more than that. 2008 until now. You can see that for the past 3 years, the rental per square foot is actually holding stable, right? Volume more or less about the same, slightly higher, of course, compared to 15 years ago. But you can see that the per square foot is really stabilizing, right? It's not like the COVID years. You see the COVID years are 2019 shoot up until now. If you're a tenant, also you're not so happy lah, right? Pay high rental. Of course, landlord, some of them are facing the pressure to reduce rent again. Okay. More or less the price has been stabilized or stabilizing. Okay. Higher volume, but price per square foot remain about the same. Okay. Rental case study. Okay, I'm using a very specific condo because I am quite familiar with this condo, and we know that there's really a lot of movement in this project. Same thing, if you are a landlord holding this from 2015 onwards, you'll be happy that the rental has gone up quite a bit, right? But if you're a landlord, you bought this around 2022 until now, you may feel that things may not be as rosy as what you think because the higher rental holding costs actually will eat into your rental cash flow. Okay. I am calling this a two-tier market. The reason why I say two-tier market is because I am sensing that there is a lot of money. They are not really going into buying for rental, right? It feels that it's not so worth it to buy for rental anymore, right? So a lot of buyers, they are focusing more towards the home investor concept. That means focus on living instead of rent, buy as big as you can, right? Buy where there will be future demand. Buy where all the families want to live. Buy where affluent senior singles links will want to live. And buy where new citizens wants to live. Bear in mind, I bold the word live. So in case you can't see, I already capitalize it and bold it. So this is a strong focus moving forwards. Very frankly, you can also check all this online. Just bear in mind, I just pluck out some of these projects because I'm very familiar with it as well. Just check out these projects. Normanton Park, Five Star, Jadescape, and Watertown. Just pay attention to the numbers. How many one-bedroom and studio units are put up for sale versus the next slide. How many three-bedroom are put up for sale at the same project, right? Okay, you can see there is a vast, big difference, right? Well, it is not total doom and gloom because of this thing that the government is also trying to implement, right? They set a minimum average size of 85 square meter for outside central region, right? You can also start to see that the recent batch of new launches, all the developers, they skip the one bedroom, right? They will start to introduce the 2 bed 1 bath or 2 bed 2 bath or bigger. Otherwise, if let's say they really want to squeeze a 1 bedroom, at most it is a 1+ study already. It's quite hard to find a 1-bedder anymore, right? So what do I mean by this? Because it will take time for this thing to slowly absorb back, right? It will take time for things to absorb back. And if you are holding on to a 1 bedroom, if you're still young, then my advice is probably you want to do a quick switch, right? No point holding on for capital upside, to be very honest, right? If you have money to upgrade to a 3-bedder, then time to move on means time to move on, okay? Of course, this newspaper article comes up to say that, wow, Singapore to increase price again, the DBS released a report, on average will be 4,000 per square foot. But is it really true? They are talking about macro, not micro. Resale price index comprise everything from 40-year-old project to 3-year-old resale condo. So the average will definitely be pulled up by the newer condo because of the higher per square foot. But the question is, in the future, does the majority of your new citizens, they prefer to buy a 30-year-old 1,800 condo because of the space? Or will they choose to buy a 900 square feet, 5-year-old condo with better layout, modern facilities, and whatnot? I'll let you think about it. I don't want to say which one will they choose. All right. Coming towards the end, most likely scenario that will be happening in the near future, I will say that the equity and demand will be continued to be fueled by HDB upgraders, profit takers from the previous condo, affluent seniors, singles, and dinks, right? The focus will be towards OCR, 3-bedroom condo and bigger, supported with good schools, right? Or if you want to go to CCR and RCR, it must have strong fundamentals. Properties must have relevant appeal in terms of layout, in terms of phasing, in terms of rental demand. Otherwise, it may face a liquidity issue, meaning hard to sell. And the game of buying a new project and selling it at TOP is becoming more and more challenging. If I have not said this clearer enough, I will repeat one more time. The game of buying a new project and selling it at TOP with good profits is becoming more and more challenging. Project selection is very important. Unit selection is very important. Entry price is very important. Okay. Short-term outlook. Right, as of now, on the ground, we are already all feeling it. Market is already feeling the tug of war, a pull between the high price chasing sellers and the limited affordability buyers. Right, everybody would think that they have the best property when they are selling it. And everybody would think that they are doing a favor to the seller when they are buying. They say, oh, I help the seller exit. You ask the seller drop another 20,000, 50,000 for me. Then the seller will say something like, hey, you go and see around the market, the other new project already selling so high price. I already sell so cheap. They come out another 50,000. So this is the tug of war that I am dealing with daily. Okay, so that's what's happening. But in general, as long as the wealth continue to come in, demand is stable, government is going to control as much as they can. They are already aiming towards a sustainable growth after the COVID hangover. If you have watched my previous video, right, COVID is like a drinking party lah. Everybody is flush with strong price growth, but the party is over already. Okay, time to wake up. Parting words and advice. Right now, depending on your life stage, your wealth growth strategy, your asset location, do you want to do legacy planning? I will have different advice for different people. Basically because very simple. The same 3-bedroom condo in Serangoon, it has a different meaning to different group of buyers, right? In general, if you're holding on to property that is not so desirable, it is always good to switch out while the property is still in good demand. Don't wait until people realize that it is too old, too inefficient. Don't wait until tenants are not coming in. Then when you try to sell, then that's where that you will face difficulty lah. Right? So coming to the end of the video, feel free to reach out to me for one-on-one consult. Usually how I do it, different from other property agents, I don't like to do product selling. Of course, I may introduce you some project, but that is after understanding you lah. Roughly, I will understand what is your current life stage, your goals, your financial positioning. Plan your next move with a few options for consideration. Determine the project, entry price, future exit strategies if you are aiming to buy something for profit taking. And same thing, after buying, I'm still looking around. I will still come back to come and kacau you, come and disturb you every 3 to 5 years for opportunities to grow your property. Okay, so don't worry that I buy ready will disappear. So if you find this video useful, if you find whatever I share makes sense, feel free to put a like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. I have come to the end of the video. Bye bye.